Coming up next, a profile in courage, the amazing story of one woman's will to survive after the stroke that nearly took her life. Her story when we come back.
And we turn now to one woman's remarkable story of survival and recovery. At the age of just 37, Julia Fox Garrison suffered a massive stroke that damaged 40% of her brain. In fact, it left a hole in her brain. In Don't Leave Me This Way, or When I Get Back on My Feet, You'll Be Sorry, she writes valuable lessons for all of us, including doctors, who she says all too often neglect the human side of healing. So back up and tell me what happened. It was July 1997.
July 17th, 1997. I'm just a month shy of my anniversary date.
What happened that day?
I went to work. I was working in a software company, and I had a pulsating feeling in my head after lunch that started to erupt like a volcano. It was very specific in my head, and I knew that it was serious. And I asked somebody to drive me to the hospital, one of the co-workers, and all the way there I was telling her I was dying.
And in fact, when you got to the hospital, some of the doctors did say that you might be dying.
Yes, it was very serious. I actually was awake and aware when I was having the stroke. And I said, am I having a stroke? Which I thought was odd because, one, I'm 37, I'm young.
9 years later.
9 years later.
Tell us how you are now. If I touch this hand, can you feel that?
It's an off sensation. I don't really, if I'm not looking at you doing it, I really don't know where you're touching me. Draw a line down my body. It's all numb on my left side, like you've been to the dentist with Novocaine.
9 years later, you're on a book tour. Did you ever think?
When I came out of my surgery, I knew I had a mission. I said at the time, I don't know what it is, but I have something, I have a purpose to be here. And I know what it is now, and it's to give back and teach others that you can overcome adversity, no matter what it is.
You're pretty harsh on the doctors in the book that you wrote. You gave them nicknames, Dr. Jerk, Dr. Panic, Nurse Doom.
Yes.
And you say you think your experience was typical.
I was in such bad shape, I needed hope from my treatment, and I wasn't getting that except for my neurologist. But
can you understand why the doctors would have said early on, look, don't get your hopes up too high. This is going to be really tough.
Absolutely. And it's not like I was looking for an unrealistic answer, but I believe that people live up to what they're told. And if you tell somebody they have 4% chance to live, then they're going to live up to that. I'm not curable. I have to live with this, but I have a much better life because I'm happy, and I choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice.
You walk, you drive.
I limp.
You walk pretty well.
Yeah.
You drive?
I drive.
That's pretty amazing.
I need to drive because of my son is now 12, he'll be 12 this month, and I need to be independent for him. This is a lesson for him in life, that everything is not easy, and you need to just move ahead.
This is
not dwell.
This has not been easy, I imagine, for your son.
No.
Your husband.
No, my husband, my rock. My husband is, they call him St. Jim, and that was before the stroke, too.
And your son?
My son is thriving. He's very happy in sports, and I told him one day, Rory, we should write a book together about having a handicapped parent. And he said, why? I don't see anything different from other mothers.
You said something, you say that the stroke was a stroke of luck.
Absolutely. It's not something...
How can it be a stroke of luck?
I know better than any college experience. I have learned more through my stroke. I've been able to slow down and smell the roses, for instance.
What would you say to anyone who has a medical disaster like this?
Whether it's physical or emotional, my motto is positive outlook equals positive outcome.
Such a positive message. We so appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
Julia Fox Garrison, and the new book is Don't Leave Me This Way.
Thank you.
Thank you. She is amazing. You can read an excerpt of Don't Leave Me This Way at abcnews.com in the Good Morning America section.